Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch another beautiful day here in the Ozarks. We've really had some nice weather. It's been a warmer October than normal, although that has changed starting last night. Today it's much cooler. It's 64 degrees right now, and it's been dry. So I mean, it's not been perfect, but as far as just beautiful days with beautiful skies, and can't really complain about that at all. But there are things to complain about, just not here in the Ozarks. I talked this morning in this morning's video, and I've spoken of it recently, of what's going on in the Middle East. And it again, I know we've said this before, and things haven't happened the way people were anticipating. But it looks like things are on the verge of taking a turn for the worse. Benjamin Netanyahu has given final approval to an attack into Iran. That whatever they're going to do, no one really knows. The United States claims that they have no clue of what Israel's planning on doing, or at least they don't know the full plans. But Israel has their final approval has been given, and so now it could happen at any moment, apparently. Israeli officials have told the government and the military there that they need to prepare for an exchange of blows between them and Iran, and that it could very possibly drag the United States into this war. And so things are heating up in that area, but I really want to hone in on one other thing that happened today. Biden, and I know Biden says a lot of things, and he says gibberish and things that you can't understand. And I have been back and forth and on the fence over the last few years of whether or not, how much of it is legitimate, him being cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, or how much of it's an act, and how much stuff that he says, whether it's purposeful or not, gets kind of leaked. I don't know. I don't know. But all in all, he's still the president, technically, I guess. But anyways, I'm mumbling. Joe Biden said today, issued a direct warning, a direct threat to Iran, that if they assassinate, I don't even know if I can say that word now on YouTube, if they take out Donald Trump, that it would be considered a direct declaration of war, an act of war against the United States. Now, let's just sit back for a moment and recognize that there have been at least 3 that we know of, and there's claims that there's been more, but at least 3 that we know of direct attempts against Donald Trump. And while on the surface it doesn't look like there's a direct connection between those attempts and Iran, there have been reports by the FBI, by the Trump campaign, that Iran is trying to take out Donald Trump. So, it's almost like they could kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. I mean, I'm not making any accusations or assumptions. It's a hypothetical statement, folks, that if, say, some alphabet soup agency set it up and took out Donald Trump, I mean, that would be 1 bird taken out with the stone, right? And then that would be cause for war if they said, oh, guess who did this? It was Iran. All I'm saying is that there's some serious stuff getting ready to happen. I don't know what that is. I don't know what's going on. None of you do. I mean, there's people that get on the internet and they claim that they know what's going on. And if they truly do know what's going on, then they must be bought and paid for by these 3-letter agencies or whatever, because no one else really knows. But it's kind of like, not that I'm into it, but reading the tea leaves, looking into the whatever. It's pretty clear that a narrative looks like it's being set up. Like I said, we've been hearing for weeks now that Iran wants to take out Donald Trump, which, I mean, who knows? Who knows if that's true or not? But they're making the claims. They've said that statement. There's enough. It's been in the mainstream media. There's enough, of the population that believes that Iran is trying to take out Donald Trump. There have been attempts on his life. And now Joe Biden says if that happens, that will be considered a direct act of war against the United States. All this is happening at the same time that Israel is getting ready to make a major formal attack against Iran. They have now moved their troops invading into Syria. There's now tanks on the ground in Syria. Of course, they have been increasing their attacks in Lebanon. And they said over the weekend that they're not just going after Hezbollah, but basically all of the Lebanese military is considered fair game. That the whole country is fair game. They've also said that they're contemplating a tactic in Gaza with Hamas that basically starve them out or they surrender. Meaning they said that they will cut off all humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip until Hamas completely unconditionally surrenders to Israel. So we're seeing a lot of things happening here, and I think most of you, regardless of what you think, I know I'm not an idiot, and it's not that I'm trying to tiptoe around the tulips here. I get it. Some of you believe that we should completely, unquestionably support Israel. And you base that on scriptures. Others say, no, that's not the same thing. The state of Israel isn't the same thing in the Bible, and we should not. I'm not here to debate that. I'm not. What I'm telling you is that it's been pretty clear that the United States wants a major war. Maybe they didn't get it with Russia up there in Ukraine. They still might, but maybe not. So now they're moving into Middle Eastern territory. The United States military is much more capable of handling a war in the Middle East than it is up in Europe, because all of our equipment and training is based on two wars previously, recent wars fought in the Middle East. And so we would be more comfortable there, I would guess. And I think it's pretty clear that the actions that's been going on with Israel, with the United States, we now have troops on the ground, which we've had troops on the ground, I know, but officially, there is a difference there. Officially, we've had troops on the ground now in Israel working with Israeli Defense Forces, and we've amassed one of the largest militaries and naval fleets in the Middle East that we've ever had, at least naval fleets, because of this potential war. Kamala Harris just the other day said that Iran is the greatest threat to the United States, not China, not Russia, not anything else. That Iran is the greatest threat. So right now, Iran, they're the new Saddam Hussein, right? They're in the crosshairs. We want to go to war against Iran. And if a coincidence happens, unfortunate, I would say, definitely unfortunate, regardless of whether you like Donald Trump or not. If something very bad happened to him and he did not survive it, I would guess that most likely they're going to come up with a way to blame Iran for that. And then, boom, we've got a war. Now, I know all of that I've said, mostly, not all. The first part of what I said is true. It's in the news. That's funny, isn't it? We believe it's probably true because it's in the news, but that doesn't mean that it's true. Anyways, the first part of what I said is in the news. The second part of this hypothetical scenario may just be that. But I think that there are too many pieces on the board being put into play here that could end up where Donald Trump may no longer be running for president, if you know what I mean. Iran's to blame for it. Israel makes their move, and now the United States are involved in it. If that happens, I can't imagine I cannot imagine Russia, China, North Korea not doing something. Even if they don't come immediately to the aid of Iran. Just the fact that the United States would be involved more heavily in that. China could make its move on Taiwan. North Korea could move on South Korea. Russia could move into, Ukraine even more, maybe Poland, other places. It's a big powder keg, folks. And I've been talking about this. You guys have, but you've been watching other content for weeks and weeks and weeks now, watching this build up, and just these few little actions that I've spoken of that's happened just today. I think I think things are escalating. I think we're getting to that point probably quite quickly. Could something happen in the next few days? Yes, definitely. I think so. I would say probably by this time next week, things will be very different. I could be completely wrong. I'm just guessing. I'm not making a prediction. I'm just making a guess. But yeah, so Joe Biden tells that to Iran. If you just happen to do anything to take Donald Trump out, well, that's an act of war. Almost like he's sending a message to, who knows. But anyways, the chessboard is being set. Will it move forward? Don't know. But it's definitely that the main players and the main pieces are in place. A narrative is being built. So we need to get ready. Because here's the thing: if these things that I'm speaking of, if Donald Trump does get things, bad thing happens, and we go declare war on Iran, what happens here at home? Catastrophic. Probably, very likely martial law. I can't imagine that we would have an election, at least not for a while. A lot of things could happen. Doesn't mean that these things will happen. I'm saying that they could. And I think there's a stronger and stronger possibility as all these events start connecting and coming together. So you better be getting ready and getting your houses in order, preparing mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.